It is June 5th, 2020. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I'm Glenn Rubenstein. Justin LaBarre is out tonight. Instead, I'm joined by Friday Night Raj, here to talk about SmackDown. Oh, going.
Friday Night Raj.
Copyright strikes coming.
There it is already.
Matt Morgan might be here. I don't know. I think he's got some stuff. He's got some news. Do you want to quickly give Wrestling Inc. had the news about Matt Morgan's new candidacy and ambitions?
What's the exact position?
I believe he is running for. Let me open up his Twitter account. He talked to us a little bit about this off the air the night before he announced. But yeah, it's going to be a big deal.
Seminole County Commissioner, District 1. So.
Yes, so he's currently the Longwood, Florida City Commissioner. Mayor. Started as commissioner. Now he's running for county commissioner. So he announced that the other day. That's big news. Definitely moving on up in the world. But yeah, I believe he might be busy with a couple things in the wake of his announcement tonight, which is understandable because, man, if I had anything else going on, SmackDown, probably a lesser priority this evening. But instead, you got me, you got Raj. Now, Raj said to me before I went on the air, Raj was like, "So, dude, you drinking tonight?" And I wasn't planning on it, but I don't want Raj to have to drink alone.
I know. I feel like I have a problem then.
Well, so I got the most festive. My wife was downstairs having a margarita. I said, "Pour me some of that in this festive glass." And cheers, Raj.
Cheers, guys.
Make it through tonight.
Anyone in the chat room? Cheers, everyone. So Michael the Virus pointing out it's County Commissioner District 1. So thank you. Brett already with a $20 super chat. Thank you, Brett. Asking for our input on this. We know Vince has floated selling the company for the right deal money for almost 5 years now. If he did, would he keep the WWE name or would the buyer be able to keep the WWE name? Oh, they would have to get WWE and all the assets.
All intellectual property.
Right. I'm sure they could make some provisions that, Triple H and Stephanie has to have a certain title and things like that. But outside of that, yeah, I mean, once you sell, all the intellectual property moves over.
So if you ever sold Wrestling Inc., Raj, would you do like one of those acqui-hire things, like a Pixar thing where you have to be in charge of something, or you just take the money and walk away from Wrestling Inc.?
If I could stop watching SmackDown?
Raj might pay you to get Wrestling Inc. off his hands.
No, I'm just kidding. Actually, SmackDown, it was brutal, I thought, at the beginning, and then it got better as the show went on. By the end, I actually was... I really liked that last match. I liked Sasha and Bayley winning, so I liked it by the end.
There was some good stuff tonight. This thing with Jeff Hardy. So last week, it was all a setup. He wasn't actually drinking and driving. It was Sheamus who orchestrated this entire thing. Jeff Hardy was sober. They had this confrontation tonight. I saw a lot of people liking Hardy's promo. I think it's the delivery of it more than the content, though. Like, this didn't really do it for me.
I think Punk said it best on Backstage this past week when he's talking about sobriety being, a fragile thing. Jeff Hardy's last DUI was just 8 months ago. And so far, almost every time WWE has done an angle, and WCW too, where they're playing off of someone's personal issues, whether it was Scott Hall, Jake the Snake when he did that angle with Jerry Lawler, Road Warrior Hawk, Jeff Hardy, when he did the angle with CM Punk, they had bad issues afterwards. Jeff Hardy, he's been in rehab, he's gotten help, but it's been 8 months. I don't think you should be doing angles on this. I don't care if Jeff Hardy's cool with it as the adult in the room. I don't care if Jeff Hardy came up with it as the adult in the room, as a public company. I don't think you should be doing storylines on stuff like this. I think it's easier to find other stuff that's not as tacky. And I like storylines based on reality, but this so soon, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. It's tough, man. I mean, I agree with you, although we did start talking about it. And I was thinking in TV and movies, when an actor has had substance issues and then that factors into a role, sometimes I, applaud their honesty. I think that it adds a whole other layer of depth. I think it's not even the substance issues that an issue with. It's just sort of this weird dramatization, the fake out, the using it this way in an angle where Sheamus set it all up. I don't know. And we talked about this, I think, last Friday, given everything going on in the world. Like, they should have called an audible and found a way to sort of delay some of this. I don't think it's what people needed to see last week.
Yeah, and to your point, when people using their past issues for movies or whatever, it's not 8 months after. Like with Robert Downey Jr. is doing it now. This is 20 years later from when he had his issues. So that's one thing when he's clearly gotten past it. Slick, if he was Reverend Slick, if he was doing it. People that have Shawn Michaels. Guys that have shown that they have beaten this thing and they've moved on. I don't have an issue, but when it's so close, it's too soon, in my opinion.
Well, speaking of what's going on there, one thing we did not see tonight, as far as speaking of what's going on with current events, we did not see the Forgotten Sons tonight after the controversy with Jackson Riker and his tweet. In the midst of all the protests going on in the country, the solidarity from the locker room speaking out for Black Lives Matter. I thought it was interesting that the Forgotten Sons were not on the air tonight. Yeah,
I mean, I'm pretty sure they weren't going to be anyway. This was taped last Tuesday. And so, this was before everything happened, before the tweets, before, the George Floyd stuff got out. So,
it's interesting.
There could have been a backstage segment. Who knows, a vignette that maybe they cut, but they weren't involved in a match or anything that ended up getting hit. I don't think, because if there was, there would have been, some sort of way to fill in that time.
Although when they're taping ahead, they could have had something extra. They could have repurposed something that didn't get used before. It's like, who knows?
I think everything on this show was supposed to be on.
Everything was intentional. I was going to say, because it seemed like they just re-showed the Otis and Mandy promo from last week. Now, granted, that, as silly as it was probably one of the more creative things WWE has done in recent memory. But it's interesting. WWE,
they're going to turn Otis heel by having him making out with her, by a pool. Like soon, people are going to resent him.
Yeah. And Antoine Fair, we were talking about this on Twitter. He was saying he couldn't watch, Kurt Angle making his opinion known. I think liking some tweets, WWE making a statement. That's why I just wonder if the Forgotten Sons were caught up in that. And then, Flying Boar, Canadian $5 says Jeff Hardy drunk angle reminds me of Scott Hall drunk angle in WCW where he throws up at Bischoff.
Yeah.
I mean, so they've done this before, and I know, Matt, we talked about this last week. Welcome, Mr. Matt Morgan, soon to be moving on up in the world of politics.
Moving on up.
Quite a while from now. I got a very tough primary and a very tough general. But yeah, thank you guys. I apologize. I've been working like you won't believe.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sure. No, we understand. Tyler H saying, as someone who's been sober for 5 years, and I'm here partying while we're reading this, but the first year of sobriety is very difficult. It's a life and death situation for most of us. Yeah, and Jeff Hardy again. It's 8 months. I think it's just way too soon to be doing this, but
it is. And you've heard the tales from Scott Hall talking about when Simply Stone Cold was pouring beer on his face when he did the NWO angle versus leading up to WrestleMania for him in Austin, that was enough, for him to feel a certain kind of way and go back to it, I believe. Right. So it is tough. It's very tough. Alcohol, I mean, to each their own, it's what it's there for. Like Raj, how you use it, that's what it's here for. It's supposed to be for people to be able to handle it, drink it, have fun without becoming addicted per se. But then there's many of us that have that addiction gene, whatever you want to call it, where it just takes over our life. So I know what that last super chat guy was talking about specifically. It runs your life. I couldn't wake up without my painkillers. I refuse to get out of my bed without those painkillers. I would not start my day without them.
Some people are welcoming you on. Tim Mickles saying the commish. Alonzo Smith saying Matt Morgan with the hot tag. Matt's here. Disco Scotty, ladies and gentlemen, your future Seminole County Commissioner, District 1. And Joey Addergen saying congrats, Matt.
Well, let's hold the congrats till I win. Thank you, guys. You guys are so damn supportive. Sincerely, thank you all.
Yeah. Good luck, Matt. Lots of well wishes.
Thanks, guys.
Vote for the Blueprint.
You could take all that super chat money and you could text the word blueprint to
No.
22525. Text the word blueprint.
22525 blueprint.
Don't. And I'm joking about taking away super chat money here, obviously. But
know.
text the word blueprint to 22525, and you can contribute to my campaign. Even though you don't live here, seriously. Thank you.
So did you get to watch all of SmackDown, Matt?
Yes, I'll be honest though. I was making calls the entire show, but obviously you're able to see it in the background. The only thing I couldn't do is I had it on mute. To be fair, but I'll be honest. This sounds terrible. I don't feel like I missed anything.
I mean, the commentary sucks. The crowd noise helps. It helps the show.
It's better.
But, it's better. But it is what it is. I mean, I'm going to look back at the Performance Center as something I hate once everything is back to normal. Just it's going to remind me of this period of wrestling where I found it very hard to watch.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it wasn't. What's that?
Was that? Did you guys go over the last part?
Just about what happened when Sheamus showed up, and so they got into it, and finally, what did we make it, like 3 episodes without someone getting thrown into the barricade? So
yeah,
that happened tonight.
It did happen.
I'll come back to this one, but okay. Sheamus was throwing Jeff Hardy into those barricades pretty hard. Like those, like legitimately.
Dude, he don't play. Sheamus does not play out there.
This was one of those things with Jeff where they wouldn't do it with Drew McIntyre because they know how to book Drew McIntyre. But so Jeff is being ridiculed by Sheamus, and then he runs down the ramp to go, confront Sheamus. Sheamus beats his ass, throws him all over the place, and then is left standing. And it wasn't like an unfair advantage, right? He didn't kick him in the nuts or anything. It was pretty.
Deboed him. He straight up just deboed him and took his lunch money. Yes.
So, not what you do with a top baby face, but it does make you want to see Jeff get revenge.
There you go.
Okay, now we go to Mitch Orbsby with the $10 super chat. Thank you. Hey guys, big fan of all three of you. Just curious if any of you think Otis will actually cash in, and if he does, do you think he'll win the belt?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you being serious with that question, Mitch? Come on. No, I don't.
You don't. He'll cash in. You don't think he'll win?
You think he will?
I think it's a possibility. I think he's the one character that has really been getting over. I could see him doing one of those Jack Swagger wins where he's champ for like a month and then they, switch it back. Like.
Are we talking about the same championship?
Yeah, the SmackDown Championship, the Universal Championship.
So we are talking about the same championship. Hell no.
Yeah.
This guy will slip on a banana peel and somehow, he'll slip in really cartoony motion, and somehow the suitcase will get ran over by a bus, carried down the street. It'll be something stupid, cartoony like that. He's not winning the championship. No way. And yes, he has gotten over. You're correct. Yeah. But there's no way they're putting, I don't know.
I could see if The Miz and Morrison end up taking the title off Braun. I don't think that's going to happen, but I could see that creating a scenario for Otis to win. But I think they're doing live crowds when we're back.
If I was a betting man, I could see them putting it on Otis, but if I was a betting man, I think Otis cashes in, Mandy turns on him, and then the opportunity's gone to waste. Antoine Fair saying, I'll give $20 to Matt's campaign to go 20 minutes saying nice things about WWE TV starting now. I'll go 2 minutes.
WWE who?
WWE TV.
About what? WWE what?
WWE TV. I don't think it can happen. I'm sorry. I'll just give you the $20, Matt.
Tonight's show was amazing. I give it an A+.
I mean, those Miz and Morrison vignettes with Braun, it just made you mad and just made you really into the angle.
I did like that it reminded me of Swerved. So I was like, this is like Swerve. This is closest we're going to get to Swerved coming back. Was that tonight?
Such a good show. That was such a good show.
That was a good show. But when I think of the storylines that got me into wrestling, the Hogan Andres and, Stone Cold and The Rock and Stone Cold and Vince, and then seeing this, his the dropping goop on his head and it hits Kayla Braxton.
Don't spoil it, Raj. We've got a lot to get
Sorry.
to.
Let's get to it.
Yeah. We're getting feedback from someone's headphones. I don't know, Matt. Maybe your volume's up a little, or maybe Raj, if someone could just turn down their.
Oh, tell me.
Okay, let's see if right now I'm not hearing anything. Oh no, I'm hearing it a little bit. Just a little. It's not terrible. I mean, we could deal with it if it's too much.
I heard kids in the background. This time it's not mine.
No, I'm just hearing feedback. Like I can hear myself talking, or when Raj talks, maybe. Raj, talk for a second.
Is it me? Here, I'm gonna mute it for a second.
I think it's your headphones. If you just turn down the volume a little bit, I think we'll be fine.
Okay. On my phone, right? Turn it down.
Yeah, just on your phone.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Just sensitive for the listeners. So
how about now?
Let's see. Okay, is this coming through? My feedback?
That's good.
No feedback. Perfect. Yeah.
Leonzo Duncan, today's 32nd birthday, a loyal listener to the show. Yes, Matt, can you give her a shout out?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Leonzo. Happy birthday to you. Terrible.
Antoine Ferrer saying, Matt, sir, Raj only please, no cheating. Okay, 5 minutes. I don't think Raj can go 5 minutes.
Maybe I'll go grab a drink or something.
Come back and be like,
favorite part is that they pay money again to the super chat to leave the second points of their points. You know what I mean? Or the reply to a reply.
It's that repeat. The repeat business.
See, folks, Raj he's got a formula. He already has this on his spreadsheet. It's called repeat business.
Terry, we'll get to your super chat when we get to Chad.
Well, make sure it's not going to scroll off. But yeah, we'll definitely talk about Shorty G and what's going on there. But first, Otis was backstage with Mandy Rose. He saw a cape and a crown. Who did they belong to? Well, King Baron Corbin. And Otis said, I'm going to take that crown. I want it for myself. That's the kind of guy Otis is. And walked off cackling with Mandy Rose, which, of course, led to Otis versus King Baron Corbin.
I don't like any of this.
Matt,
what am I supposed to say?
Do you remember when Jean-Pierre Lafitte stole Bret Hart's jacket, and that was like a pay-per-view, like one of the top matches on a pay-per-view? That was the grudge match. It was Bret Hart against the Pirate because he stole his jacket.
Yes.
That's just kind of what this reminded me of for whatever reason. But
I forgot it. I forgot that angle, by the way, altogether until I heard it on I think it was his podcast. He was being interviewed, and he brought it up recently. I was like, oh my God, I forgot that was an angle? Wow.
That's when I was like close to stopping watching wrestling. It's like these are
dude, that's when I started getting made fun of by my friends in high school. For walking in with Undertaker t-shirts.
Right. And here we are. They're recycling that angle.
We showed them though, because wrestling.
Yeah.
But no, it's not. It's not.
No, it was it did come back after that.
So Corbin grabbed a steel chair, hit Otis in the gut with it, and Otis won by DQ. After that, Corbin delivered more chair shots. Otis did the caterpillar, dropped the elbow on Corbin, and then celebrated with Mandy Rose's music hit. It's interesting how Mandy Rose's style keeps becoming more like Otis's. I'm surprised they didn't go in the opposite direction and kind of give Otis more of a makeover, but I guess Vince knows the character he wants from this.
Audience of one on display.
Yeah.
Mandy Rose, she looks like $1 million. I mean, that Daisy Duke outfit, whatever she was wearing. She looks great, but when she was on the screen and she was like, what did she say? You're worthless or something like that. Her delivery is just not there. On the mic, she's just not. It's not there.
Yeah. I don't know.
Which is weird because she naturally has charisma. If you go back and you watch the Tough Enough series, she was very charismatic.
Right. Yeah, it's like she gets caught in the deer lights reading these scripts or something. But I mean, she's naturally a star. Like when you hear her doing a regular interview or anything, she can do it. I think the scripted era hurts her.
I think she's good to end up. Someone's making the comparison online. looking like what's her face from My Name Is Earl. I think by the end of this, like Jamie Presley.
That's what I kind of was getting tonight, actually, a little.
Yeah,
I felt. That's exactly who I. Yeah.
So props to her.
I'm just old with the Daisy Duke, I guess.
Yeah, seriously, Grandpa Raj over here. Tell us more about these good old boys.
Like Samantha Cleaver. I don't know.
Samantha Cleaver, where'd that come from?
I don't know who's in Leave It to Beaver. I know it's Beaver Cleaver.
He's combining two old school shows, I think. Sabrina the Witch.
Right, yes. Yeah. That's
shows
right.
40 years apart. I was going to say.
They're still old school. They're both.
Yeah, well, Samantha was Bewitched, right?
Yes. Samantha was Bewitched. That's right.
Yes. Don't know the characters on Leave It to Beaver. Come on, there was Ward June, Wally, and the Beaver. It's pretty simple, man.
He's showing off again, like when he does the alphabet backwards. He's showing off again.
Had a friend named Lumpy. There was Eddie Haskell. May he rest in peace. Anyhow, but yeah, good for Mandy showing some range. I have to give it to her that she's committing to this. It's just, hey man, if this is getting over, I mean, I don't want to, be down on talent that's making it work.
Okay, question.
Yeah.
How were we able to constitute something's getting over right now?
Right.
Audience of one, Matt, to your point, that if Vince puts something on his TV screen, in his gut, he feels
it's great.
It's great and it's working, right?
The only gauge you really have right now is like what trends on social media and ratings. And
people talk a lot about it, right? Positively.
Not really. You never see Otis or Mandy trending. I mean, with the ratings, it hasn't been what you'd expect.
I figured Twitter would be blowing up because they keep booking it, so I'm assuming everyone's loving it, except me.
You'll see stuff that's. Let me look at what's trending right now, since we are. SmackDown was trending, and that's about it.
I do think, Matt, I know we gave it props last week. I think and I'm glad they reshowed the entire thing practically tonight. I think the Fast Times of Ridgemont High homage last week is the best thing they've done with this Mandy and Otis storyline.
Yeah.
It's got to end with her turning on him, right?
I don't know.
How would that be logically, what would that, why would she be setting him up? For what?
Who's a star you want to build?
Unless if he's going to be willing to give her that briefcase.
Oh yeah,
Andre the Giant style. Hopefully Jack Tunney doesn't come in and ruin it, like he did for $1 Million Man.
Yeah, that's a good call.
You know what I mean? Because then I could see her turning on him. Just she gets what she wants. See you later, dude. Thanks.
Yeah,
I could see her. I could see her cashing in for the title, Glenn.
Well, it's interesting. So, to jump ahead a little bit with what's going on with Sonya versus Lacey, and the way that they are keeping Mandy in Sonya's storyline makes me feel like that's kind of interesting too, right? I mean, how often does any wrestler, male or female, have two concurrent storylines going on?
Hey guys, I'll be right back in 1 second.
Yeah. Hey Glenn, can I just say something really quick?
Yeah.
A lot of our fans, I want to say thank you. I'm so busy making calls all day today, all night. But a couple times I was able to get on Twitter and try my best to see some of the comments. And so many of them are from the show. And I want to say thank you all for the positive, feedback. For real. Thank you guys. You guys are really true blue. Appreciate it.
I mean, our community is the best, hands down. And I
hope they don't think we're pandering. I think they don't think that by this time, by now, right?
I mean, they watch the same shows we watch. And I think it's pretty clear to them that if we didn't have this podcast, we would not be watching SmackDown or Raw most weeks.
I hate admitting that because I want wrestling to be good and do good, and all of our friends make great money and take care of, take care of the families and the whole domino effect. But you're 100% right.
Yeah, no, I think they know, man. I think they get it. We're telling our community how amazing and supportive they are, Raj. You would know
They
this if
are
you were
awesome.
on more podcasts with us. You'd be more aware of this.
Hey, I am on another podcast. If you guys watched it, the Saturday Night's Main Event podcast that we're doing on Thursday nights. Me, Justin Barrasso from Sports Illustrated, and Jesse Collins. And we just did the Bret Hart versus Randy Savage one, Hulk Hogan versus King Kong Bundy. It was awesome. Every Thursday night.
Oh man,
Awesome
must have been
stuff.
pretty. Yeah. Does it go really long? Because it's so much great stuff to talk about.
Yeah, no, I mean, we go about an hour and a half. The show is about an hour after because they don't have the commercials, and yeah, it's great stuff.
Anthony D'Alesso, Australian, $10, saying he's a vegetable farmer in South Australia. Just got off the tractor to drop $1 to Raj to say thanks for the weekly entertainment. Way better than Ryback's podcast.
Thank you.
Are you being serious? Do not pay money to answer that question, Anthony. That's crazy. Really read that right now.
Yes.
Got off a tractor to drop $1. That's awesome. Not that you
awesome.
give money, but that you love this show that much. That's freaking cool.
It's morning in Australia. It's quite plausible.
We love doing it.
That is so cool.
We love doing it, and yeah, the feedback has been great. You guys are awesome, and
Dang.
look, I mean, any chance I could get out of watching some of these shows, I'd take it. But anytime I do these podcasts with you guys, it's always the funnest part of the night.
Now,
And the chat makes it, the people watching it makes it so worth it. It's
Funnier
so
and
fun.
more fun. Yeah.
Fun times with the games, Buck99 saying they need to stop Mandy and Otis kissing like yuck. Now, if that's not your cup of tea, regardless, let me just say, rewatching that, like, think about actors and performers, think about stage kissing, like, they really went for it. They went for it more than I've seen in, like, hard R-rated films with the way they were kissing each other in that Fast Times at Ridgemont High vignette. That is commitment.
They went a long time. Like, it wasn't like a quick pack like they
Oh, no,
normally
that was
do.
like some, yeah.
It was like Otis paid somebody off. That's what I'm thinking.
Raj, that would be a violation of Pretty Woman rules. So I don't know what type of worker he would have paid for that. But
I'm saying he paid. Okay, so we'll get to this in a little bit, Terry. But he's saying that Vince is being very disrespectful towards Chad's height, very heartless, and Chad likely agrees. If you're writing a movie and someone's making fun of you, you don't have them stick up for themselves and then get their ass kicked and pinned. And then actually they didn't do that tonight, but.
Yes. And then Mitch Arabsky, Canadian $10. Hey Matt, what's the worst finishing move you've had to take in terms of what hurt the most? Sorry, I'm off topic. Just curious. Again, I know it's Canadian dollars. Sorry.
Don't apologize for that.
That's a good question.
It is a good question. I can't think of any that hurt. I'm being serious. Like, I don't really get to take so many. When I started wrestling, people stopped using the logic that they used to give us. Pick up and do step into it. Up to that's how they used to coach us. And people stopped doing that. Like AJ Styles could not put me in the Styles Clash. Actually, yeah. I'm trying to think. Nothing really. Honest to God. I swear to God. Nothing that ever hurt. Muscle Buster was easy to take. Nothing. I don't remember anything.
The Muscle Buster, really?
Yeah. Except I had to be. How did he get me in it?
Yeah, I was going to say that. I got to go back and watch footage of that.
Was I on the top turnbuckle? Why would I be on the top turnbuckle, though? You know what I mean? I think I did take. I know for a fact I took it. He did a run and it kicked my ass. Joe did.
Got a second rope or
maybe, but I don't remember anything I ever heard. And I apologize. I'm really trying to think about this, Mitch. I hate to see you waste your money like that, brother. I apologize, but there's nothing that sticks out to me that I've ever gotten injured from with somebody's finisher or anything I felt was extra stiff, honestly.
Yeah.
And then Brett with a $10 super chat saying, God bless Matt Morgan. I know you're going to win one step at a time. I hope you represent Florida as our future governor, and let's make America peaceful and full of love. It's a very nice sentiment.
That is a great end of your sentence. I love that. Thank you. That's what we need.
Peaceful and full of love. Would love to see that.
Yes. Now, Alonso has a theory. Did Mandy piss someone off backstage? Does she have heat? Why should be punished by have to put up with Otis? I think this should be clear, Raj. The backstage scoop is that this storyline was Mandy's idea because of her friendship with Otis.
Yeah, they're friends from way back in the day. So yeah, it's helped them both out tremendously. So.
Ooh, in fact, maybe Mandy has a crush on Otis. Doesn't know how to tell him. That's why she pitched the storyline because she wanted an excuse to make out with him. You know, it's a little like reversal of the roles here.
She was dating Tino Sabatelli for a while. I don't know if they still are, but
dude, that guy, his brother is one of our police officers here in Longwood, and looks just like him.
Oh,
like,
really?
Everybody loves this guy. Like, yeah, he's another one. He's freaking jacked. He's handsome. All of like our nurses, you know, and stuff. They totally love when he comes in and he's working a shift and stuff. Just like his brother in that regard. But yeah, that's a very good looking couple.
Yeah,
her and Tino.
He was cut, but he's got the look and everything.
Such a good look, man. I don't get, you know, I guess too many injuries. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, on
pedigree.
Breaking Ground, they talked about his attitude. And then when I met him at Access that night, I was like, yeah, I get the attitude comment. Didn't seem like, compared to, and I've met a lot of NXT talents before I was doing this podcast. I'm just saying he seemed like the least into it of anyone I ever met in NXT.
So, really quick, Glenn, don't you think that has a little bit to do with the fact that he was in the NFL? He's used to fans. It's not a big thrill for him having fans. He's had them for many years, or whatever, how long he's been a football player for.
I would say that except Baron Corbin, similar background, and I saw Baron Corbin. Now this was like away from like the massive crowds at NXT Rock concert thing. I saw Baron Corbin being exceptionally cool to fans when it was like off camera or out of the limelight. So I don't know. With Tino, and this was at Access. It was at Access.
Yeah, we should be actually cool. And to be fair, like even once I was a wrestler for X amount of years. Then you're used to having fans. I don't all overnight just start acting like a jerk and go, I'm used to having fans, so now I have to be cool. They're always wanting to be cool because you yourself were a wrestling fan. So you know what this is like for a lot of fans. If I got to meet the Iron Sheik when I was a kid, or Hogan when I was a kid, or a teenager or a young man even, you know what I mean? I'd be going bonkers to want to chat with them and stuff. So I always kept that in my head.
Yeah. Before we get to the next match, go. All right, Matt, you missed the episode the other night. That is the Friday Night Raj music.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So cheers, Glenn, and Matt, your protein shake or whatever you got over there.
BCAA mix over here, tremendous. I can't believe I'm missing this. This is hilarious. I love it.
I found it on my phone. My picture with Tino Sabatelli at Access 2016.
Oh wow, jeez.
Like I was one of like 3 people.
You look creepy with the sunglasses, though.
Why are you wearing sunglasses?
It was bright in there.
You're that guy.
You look like you're stalking him.
2 types of people wear shades inside, indoors.
What are those 2 types of people, Matt?
I cannot say those words any longer.
Yeah.
Well, cool people and poker players and creeps. I'd say 3.
Could it be someone with very light blue eyes who has a light sensitivity that gets sunspots?
No.
Would that be an appropriate reason?
No, you are very witty. I'll give you that for thinking of that so fast. But no.
It's true. I get sunspots. You guys have never gotten those before where you like get a little burn in and then I have to like sit with my eyes closed for it to go away?
Inside?
Because you see nothing but...
Yeah, I see nothing but like the burn from the light in my eye.
I've seen it where I have dots all around the peripheral of my view.
I get
like
that.
If you're watching TV, you're like, I can't even see the screen right now. This is annoying.
I get it when it's a disparity in light. If there's like a bright light and then another lesser light, my eyes focused on one, the other one. It's this whole thing. It happens to me a lot when I'm watching TV, like when it's sunny outside. Anyhow,
now I feel bad for making fun of that.
No. See, you should let me say something first. Glenn is incredibly intelligent. He's incredibly fast. I don't believe him. He is this smart to pick this up so quick.
Clearly. Anyhow, let's talk.
Here we go. Neo Akira saying douches and poker players. Wear sunglasses
He's got the
inside.
first part right. He has the first part right. The other part was Ken Anderson's old gimmick in TNA.
I love wearing sunglasses.
I always love in Vegas when they put the sunglasses on when they're going inside, like to the casino.
Yep. Also, let me tell you a reason also why, especially if I'm like looking at stuff and watching people, you know, the meanest a celebrity ever has been to me in my entire life. You're not going to believe this. It was Richard Simmons. We were at I was at a video store convention where they had like all sorts of, you know, celebrities were there. Like Steven Seagal was there, Cameron Diaz, all the way down to like Dana Plato from Different Strokes. There were adult film stars. And then Richard Simmons was there hawking like one of his things. I had a friend that was talking to him, and at the time I didn't wear glasses. I didn't want to wear glasses, so I squinted a lot. I was squinting to look at my friend with Richard Simmons, and Richard Simmons turned around and mocked me and made a squinty face at me, and then just sort of like waved me away. I was like, "Oh, prick. Richard Simmons was mean to me."
Wow. I had a random celebrity in Vegas. We used to go a lot, so I mean, I've seen some cool ones like Jay-Z and guys like that. But there was one time we were at this, we were at the Ghost Bar, and they were filming the Surreal World. So it was Emmanuel Lewis, Brigitte Nielsen, Webster. Emmanuel Lewis, Vanilla Ice. And
Surreal World,
yeah, the Surreal. And I was hanging out with them, talking to them. It was they were really cool. Brigitte Nielsen was way cooler than you would have ever thought. So it was really cool.
Pardon me a second, it's getting a little bright in here, guys. So anyhow, on to the next segment.
With the sunglasses.
Big time.
I'm so bummed. It's funny, I have the exact same sunglasses. I can't get these anymore. They sold out of like this wholesale site I bought them from. I used to order like dozens at a time because they're like $3 a pair. I'm so bummed they don't make them anymore. Those were my go-to.
What was next?
Okay, next. Your favorite segments of the night. The Miz and Morrison bringing back that swerved energy on Braun Strowman. This time with exploding, protein shake. The first segment. Later, we'll just cover them now. The sliming, the vandalizing of his car, which led to Braun tipping over the van. What did you think about this? This is your Universal Championship storyline heading into Backlash, Matt.
I hate this because I've wanted Braun to be the champion for so long now. He has it, and I feel like they're obviously not taking it seriously. And that's a shame. It's a shame. All they needed to do was give Braun one run with that title, treat it seriously. They could have taken it off him 5-6 months later, and he would have been a perennial main event, main eventer forever. They could have always just taken him out when they needed him to fill in and steal a pay-per-view for the main event here and there. But they're screwing this up completely, unfortunately. And I love Miz and Morrison. This should not be happening, but it's happening because, like you said, the swerve stuff. I feel like half of it is like from that show Double Dare when we were kids, right? And it's just a lot of silliness.
Well, and to that end, when Kayla Braxton got slimed, they did break the universal you can't do that in television slime code. She did not say I don't know before the slime was poured on her. So
well done. I couldn't remember. I could not remember that. That's what you couldn't say.
Yeah, so water and I don't know were the two.
If you're doing if Miz and Morrison are doing this with Shorty G or someone like that, that's fine. With Braun, would you have Austin opening a can that explodes in his face or getting slime on him? Or Undertaker? That's how you should be treating Braun. He's something special. And this Braun, even though he's got the title, he's nothing compared to the 2018 Braun that was just running through folks and was scary and, it was just a monster. This Braun, this kind of stuff just weakens him. Even though he's not, ultimately he turns over a van, but he just looks like a goof being a part of these segments.
Yeah.
Would Undertaker be having practical jokes played on him? And I feel like that's the mentality you need when you book Braun Strowman.
100%.
The thing, when it finally came down to him flipping the van and he was right outside the security camera, I thought that was kind of a cool moment. It was a good visual. I just think all the stuff with Miz and Morrison playing these pranks, I mean, I know it was meant to seem silly and juvenile, but it just, I don't know. It seemed like this is like this is a mid-tier feud that doesn't even need a title because it's that pure comedy, you know?
This could be the opening match of the pay-per-view. Might as well be. No one thinks Miz and Morrison are going to win the titles. It's clearly just a placeholder for them to get to, the Fiend for SummerSlam, I think. It's just something for Braun to do until then.
Yeah. So Chad Gable backstage giving an interview, and Mojo wants to come up, take some shots at Chad's height. Cesaro and Shinsuke attacked him. New Day to the rescue. This set up a 6-man tag for later in the evening. But then we had Sonya Deville versus Lacey Evans again, this time with Mandy interfering, Lacey getting the win. Matt, what did you think of this match?
The match was good. I thought it was very good, actually.
Yeah, I would actually say great. As I would say, it was a great match, and I really want to see them have a definitive winner at a pay-per-view.
I think, and I would think Lacey and Sonya usually, when they're with experienced people, they look very good, but they gelled. I thought they looked good. I thought Sonya looks like she's going to be a superstar at some point. I could see her wearing gold by the end of the year. Mandy was the one, again, I mentioned her at the end of this match. She did that little promo on screen. That was the weak part of this match, was Mandy's little distraction. Outside of that, I thought it was really good. Sonya looked great. Sonya's a badass. She has that believability to her.
Yes, she does.
It's weird. She has it more than Shayna Baszler, even though Baszler was a legit UFC fighter. Sorry, go ahead.
The difference is, watch her facials. She believes everything she's doing out there. Whereas Shayna has one face, if that makes sense. The other Sonya knows how to change gears, not just physically in the ring, but with her body language in the ring as she's changing those gears. Kurt Angle was amazing at it. Sonya is really starting to hit her stride.
Yeah. I see big things for Sonya. She's awesome.
Yeah. I like your prediction, dude. That's encouraging.
Mm-hmm.
What was up with David Drummond saying the ref injury spot? That was different in between.
That was weird.
Distracting.
Yeah.
So they changed refs.
But it looked phony as hell, so I don't think it was a shoot. The acting was so bad that it didn't look legit. So I don't know what that was.
It's always terrible.
Yeah. But if it was legit, you would be able to tell it was legit. This clearly was.
Did you ever see poor Earl? I love Earl. Love him to death, baby Earl Hebner. But did you ever go back and watch, like, when you're watching your old stuff and you see when it's time for, like, Earl to take a bump and stuff and his, like, over crazy selling of stuff? Like the two Earl Hebners. Go back and watch that.
Oh, that's so great. That's one of my favorite angles.
That's my favorite stuff Earl has ever done. It's so hilarious.
I love when he nails Dave with that weak ass punch, like that elbow, and Dave really sold that one. But it was great.
Remember Hogan going, "You got plastic surgeon? Who paid off the plastic surgeon?"
Yeah. Look at the dollar bill coming out of his pocket, man.
Speaking of dollar
God! Bills. Oh, look! That's how you should be if you lose your title.
Speaking of dollar bills, we got a couple super chats. Nate Monroe, $1.99. They kill their world champs with these goofy stories.
They're not doing that to Drew yet. I agree, but they're not doing that to Drew yet. They're not taking Drew down yet. They're booking him right.
And Antoine Fair, $2, saying, "I disagree. I like these guys to have wide range."
There you go, Antoine. That's cool.
It's cool, thing. But I didn't want Mike Tyson to have wide range. I wanted, or Ronda Rousey. You want to see them destroying mofos. Some people you do.
Iron Mike Tyson coming out to the ring to time for some action. That's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Fifth gear, badass Mike Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
So the Hangover just really killed it for you? You're just like, I can't. This isn't the Mike Tyson I want.
I popped. I'm not going to pretend I didn't pop. You're correct. I did pop big for that. But now with the stuff he's doing in AEW and stuff, it's...
Yeah. But Hangover was 20 years after his prime. If
Coolest things Mike Tyson have ever done. Okay, so 1 is his fighting career.
Oh, there's a ton of stuff now.
2, Mike Tyson's Punch Out is clearly like second coolest thing.
Yes.
3, I'm gonna say the song he was on with Cannabis, the Can I Buzz? Yeah, second round knockout. The response to LL Cool J and that whole beef. I'm gonna put that as 3. Maybe The Hangover 4.
There's a ton of stuff.
Was that a work, by the way, Cannabis and LL Cool J? Because I remember never heard of Cannabis really until LL Cool J started.
No, supposedly it was legit. So Cannabis was guesting on 4321 on the Mr. Smith album. Had a verse where he referenced the tattoo of the mic on LL's arm. It was like, hey, let me get that tap from your arm. LL's people were so freaked out they made him go back and re-record his verse. Then LL re-recorded his verse, just ripping on Cannabis the whole time. And that's why Cannabis then felt burned, released second round knockout. LL released Return to Jack the Ripper. Which supposedly, if you remember, Return to Jack the Ripper was so good for LL. I didn't learn this till years later. Supposedly Eminem ghost wrote all those like incredibly sick burns on Cannabis on that song.
He's a good burn rapper, Eminem.
He's the best.
He's the best.
Because you listen to that and you're like, LL's good, but LL isn't this good. I mean,
who was Mariah Carey's ex that threw some shade at Eminem earlier? Was it late last year? Earlier, Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon.
And I was just like waiting for the burial. Eminem hasn't done it yet, but when it comes, it's going to be brutal.
Oh my goodness, it is going to be brutal. And I always thought LL Cool J got kind of when we were younger. I loved Round the Way Girl, all his old
Mama
stuff.
Said Knock You Out,
right?
Yeah.
But then he got a little bit. What's the word? Candy. What would you call it? Lollipop rap.
Candy floss.
He got very.
He did Round the Way Girl. I mean, he was doing like I Need Love.
Listen, I'm talking after. It was like years went by after that. He got kind of corny. He got stale, and he got commercial. So, do you know what I mean? So I was like, that was good for his career too. With Cannabis, who was up and coming, was edgy.
Yeah. And there's a mega mix out there. You can probably find, I've got it somewhere like on an MP3. I don't even know where I got it from, but someone put together a mega mix of all the different verses against each other. And it's like a 16-minute long thing, including like Wyclef's response to it. But the best line was that Cannabis had that line about LL, 99% of your fans wear high heels. Talking about, he's popular with the ladies. But then LL's response that asked Cannabis, he ain't understanding this because 99% of his fans don't exist. Like, just that whole...
I remember that exact line, yes.
Brilliant. Probably LL's best, like easily top 5 LL songs.
Real quick, Jacob S. saying Nick Aldis gave us some heat on you're driving on his podcast. Please let us know what he said. I don't know. I don't fully get.
That's what we need.
About me driving, like what, the rental car or something?
Maybe he thought you were driving? I don't know.
I was always in a rush to stop at the gyms and eat on time and things like that. So I usually drove by myself. I'm surprised. I think I've only driven with Nick maybe once or twice, a couple times.
Huh. Okay.
I was very cranky and like to drive by myself.
That's what we need. We need heat. We need to start feuding with other podcasts.
Exactly.
Like battle raps, battle verses. I think that really will elevate our stock. Michael,
after the bell, Corey Graves.
Nick's a good guy though. I like Nick. He's a good guy.
Nick is a superstar. I cannot believe. No offense to NWA, but I cannot believe he's not with AEW WWE right now. He's a star.
He screams heavyweight champion.
Yeah,
always to me.
He has the poise, the look that in a movie you'd want to cast him as the world champion.
Seriously, he wears not everybody wears a suit the right way.
Right.
He does. Who was the one who used to wear a suit back in the first one before Ric Flair? What's his name? AWA. Bockwinkel.
Oh yeah, Nick Bockwinkel. He was. I mean, Jericho admitted that he took a lot of aspects from Bockwinkel.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Dude, Bockwinkel was really good.
I've only seen a handful of Bockwinkel matches, but I've watched a ton of his promos because he.
I was just gonna say, watch those.
Yeah.
Antoine Fair, $2, saying 80s LL Cool J was sick, but 2000 LL Cool J need him. I mean, his head is like a shark's fin. So. Oh
my God, that was very well done. Well done. Good memory.
Yes. Hey man, if you want the best rap song ever written from the perspective of a great white shark, I think Deepest Bluest by far takes the cake.
Jerry85G saying everyone is a star for Raj. Only the people I say, which is like 3 people. So no, I think most people aren't. I'd like to see more stars.
I mean, you guys, which way do you want it? You guys say, hang on, my phone's not even on. I'm sorry. You guys say Raj buries everybody and is always negative about it. Which is it? Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Michael Slazar's $2. Any idea when AEW or WWE will have fans in the stands?
So we asked Triple H on the conference call this past week, because Florida is entering phase 2, and part of that phase 2 is allowing fans in concert halls at 50% capacity. So technically, wrestling could run in these concert halls and have half a crowd. And what is a concert hall? Wouldn't that be an arena? Maybe not a stadium, but all the concerts I've been to have been in arenas. So we asked Triple H. He said they were talking, with the government in Florida, and they're working on it. So it's gonna, Vince's prediction about SummerSlam being in front of fans, I think it's gonna happen.
What I don't understand is why, if you're looking for a social distancing and stuff, why would you not open a stadium though and let that be open where there's more room for
that's safer and outdoors? Yeah. Like a stadium is safer because you're outdoors, and it's harder to contract COVID outdoors, is what it's been. The studies have shown so far. That,
and then just the seating. You can block off X amount of seats and still have a good healthy crowd in there to see the event and be safer. I guess when you're exiting or entering, that's when you'd maybe would have a deal.
That would be. And if you could social distance the ticket line.
I was going to say, I was talking to a guy today, Glenn, that was telling me about a company he started up, and it's going to sell like hotcakes. You guys probably have already heard of the type of technology they're using, but it's it's not aerosol, but it's like mist. And it's like a what do you call it, booth? Like you see at the airport, there's a long line that's always in that one metal detector that you have to stand in for like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Not the one you just walk through, but the one you have to stand there, put your hands over your head. That one. It's kind of built like that. And you walk through it though, just walk straight through it, and all this, the mist gets on you. And what it does is it kills any virus, including COVID, as you walk through. And you can lease these things out for like arenas, stadiums. I would love to have one at City Hall.
Sure.
For commission meetings if need be. They're only like $300 to $50, $400 on the high end to lease out per month.
But what does that mean? Like if you have COVID and you get in and you cough.
That if you're in the aerosol, when you walk through the thing, it kills everything. I forget the ingredient they use in it that does it, but it's super impressive, and it'd be great for stadiums. That was my point.
Yeah, like it can't linger in the air when you're walking in.
Nope.
I think
it immediately.
I mean, COVID, with all the stuff in the news this last week, it feels like it's gotten forgotten for now. Yeah. We'll see when things start opening up. We'll see, but I know in Colorado it's gotten way better.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, part of it's going to be demand. I think that WWE is probably not going to be the first because they can't afford to do a big event and not have it be at whatever capacity it is. They can't afford to have it undersold. I think public attitude, we don't know. So when Universal opens back up, when Disney opens back up, I think WWE is waiting to see how that does before they call their shots.
I'm telling you right now, it will be back to normal, in my opinion. I've seen it with the restaurants.
Yeah. We'll see, man. I mean, I'll be curious to see.
I hope so. My fingers are crossed. I'm not going yet. I'm waiting. We just reopened restaurants last week in Denver. I'm waiting a couple weeks to see, and I might go myself, but I'm not. We'll see.
I've been rationing allergy meds for the stuff you need to show your ID for because you can't get those delivered. and I'm just like counting down into where I have to venture out into society in a hazmat suit to get allergy meds. That's probably going to be the next time I leave the house.
Yeah, Caden bringing up the Universal Open today.
There you go.
Carlton, Denver is doing good now with the COVID stuff. They have been. I mean, we have dropped, drastically. SmackDown.
Yes. Ahmed Al-Yafe, $2. Raj, have you seen Worlds Collide? I'm assuming he's not talking about the Power Man 5000 video.
Yeah, the WCW pay-per-view. It was like 91, I would say. That was one of the first WCW pay-per-views I saw, and I remember I liked it. I was a big fan of the Stars back then. I didn't know a lot of the guys, but it was cool moves. Yeah. Matt, did you ever watch that one?
Yeah.
I forget what the card was, but it was good.
We got another Matt Riddle vignette tonight. Didn't show up, but looks like they're sticking with no shoes and the dude bro stuff. So there you have it.
Change it. I think I see Matt, if he ever did the Chris Jericho thing, like in a suit and just talking without the stoner voice, I see a superstar there.
That extreme though, he doesn't need to go that extreme. He just needs to stop kicking his flippers off. That's corny. And how he dresses for sure. But
I just think there's limitations with the stoner stuff, and you know what I mean.
There is. I agree 100%. He has to lose that part. But to go into like the Nick Bockwinkel, Chris Jericho, can I be serious stuff?
I think if he did it though, he'd be.
Could he do it?
He looked like a star. He's got the.
He would look it, but his voice, how he talks, this is how he talks. You guys are all telling me.
If he could turn the bass up and like talk normal. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully no one gets offended.
Yeah, could be like Raj was going in some directions with this.
Whatever.
Let's talk instead. The stoner community, Raj, is a big part of Wrestling Inc. fans.
I know.
I think
Man, I live in Colorado.
You live in Colorado.
I do indulge myself.
Oh, this is a new wrinkle in the twist. Let's talk about this on the podcast. Nate Monroe, $1.99. Do you think they'll actually try to push Riddle? I mean, they are. You don't do these vignettes.
Yes.
Well, they did vignettes for the vaudevillains.
They did.
But they will try. They're going to try with Matt.
So then, we had AJ Styles come out and Daniel Bryan having a spirited debate about opportunities versus handouts. I felt like they weren't talking about wrestling. I felt like there was something way deeper going on here as they're building up their match for the Intercontinental Championship. But this led to an opportunity being given to Drew Gulak. We had AJ versus Drew, with Drew getting the win.
I'm calling Raj math here. That means AJ's winning.
That
means definitely. AJ's winning the title.
Yep.
Good match, though.
Glenn, put that text number up again.
Text Blueprint to 22525.
Drew Gulak is a good wrestler and all, and his PowerPoint stuff was amusing.
Amusing. Raj has not been on this Friday night show with us, Matt.
Dude, we love this. I want him to really go all out with it, though. I wish they would just completely open it up and let him give us a complete dissertation.
But Drew Gulak,
when he did with Braun, for instance, I wish they allowed him to get through his PowerPoint presentation on how to beat Brock Lesnar, for example.
But this Drew Gulak, do you see him as a star?
No.
I don't either. I find him kind of boring.
PowerPoint one, I thought there was something there.
Yeah, he's got to get the character in there.
Yeah.
And we've seen it before with the PowerPoint stuff. He has it. You got to bring that in. Not just a technical wrestler. That only gets you so far.
PowerPoint, though, that's a good gimmick. Matt, you should get him to do a PowerPoint for your campaign. A little video, here's what I should like Matt Morgan.
I don't know Drew Gulak. He wasn't wrestling when I was wrestling.
It's a shame.
He needs to turn on Daniel Bryan and start doing that stuff again.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Kudos to Daniel Bryan for trying to help get him over.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
So, guys, what says an amazing episode of SmackDown? A great way to spend your Friday night more than a 6-man tag match with no stakes.
So this is back to the original super chat that we said we'd get to with Shorty G. All the short jokes. It's the same short jokes every week with Shorty G that they're doing backstage. It's embarrassing just how it's like 80s heel. It's like Back to the Future heel, like Biff.
What? Why him though? Like he's not the shortest one there. I don't understand it.
I think it just became a thing. I think that's how creative started to see him, and he's short. Otis is fat. There are some people, it's a very bully mentality where it's like they just get a label and that's going to be their thing.
Well, I don't think it's bully. I think they think that
they're
giving them a character. They're giving them...
Yes, but it's rooted in that.
Right,
it's rooted in that sort of attitude.
Vince has this thing, like I told you, the stuttering character. He thinks everyone should have an Achilles. If you can have an Achilles, that's important. Problem is, he's a baby face. As a heel, okay, but like as a who's defensive over, maybe acting Napoleon complex-ish, if they want to go with the short person angle, I could see that as his Achilles. But he's a baby face.
Yeah.
And then the opposite end of the spectrum argument to that would be, well, it's going to give him a lot of compassion and empathy. Fans are going to feel sorry. We feel sorry because he's getting clowned. That's not good. Right. We should feel sorry because he's getting beat up and people are harming him and whatnot.
And Matt, to your point, what top character has had an Achilles? Like he keeps wanting to do that, but which ones really in the main event scene have had one? That are
Kane. He used Kane with me about Kane, not being who Glenn Jacobs really is. This incredibly intelligent, well-spoken man, right? Mm-hmm. He was a monster. Couldn't talk early on. Couldn't talk. His face was burned. He's therefore to wear a mask. Undertaker, I guess, being from hell, I guess would be an Achilles to some degree. But no, in general, like who you're talking about, which is Rock, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan,
Cena.
You're correct.
Orton.
Cena, Orton. You're 100% right.
Let me ask you this. I am Air making a joke. $2 saying, does WWE ask its talent if it hates short people? Matt, do you think that because of the mentality with Vince that people around him and in creative will perpetuate those Vince-isms and pile on?
Yes. Oh, yes. They're vultures like that. Yes. I've witnessed it. Swear to God, yes.
Well, John Laurinaitis is the lead producer of SmackDown. Michael Hayes is one of the lead producers. These are guys that were from like the 80s era of wrestling where size did have a lot to do with it, and not in size and charisma. It was both, and character. And but size especially, like size can overcome charisma.
But the writers, Raj, Glenn hit on something there. He's right. Because think about it. These are the guys that got made fun of. I can't paint them all that way, but in my head, these are all like the guys that got made fun of and maybe bullied to some degree, I'm assuming. And what stinks about it is that they're like you packing on. Mm-hmm. And like taking all these Vince-isms. That's a great one. He is so short. Right. Meanwhile, like they should know more than anyone how that feels and why you shouldn't be doing that. Yeah. Treat others like how you want to be treated, especially if you've been treated bad like that before, you would think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we're definitely psychoanalyzing this for sure.
Well,
for sure.
To death. But there's truth in this. I do think there is.
I mean, it was Otis in the middle of the Money in the Bank match where, do I smell food? Do I smell food? And then like gets distracted in the match like it's a Warner Brothers cartoon from the 1940s. I mean, really silly stuff.
That wasn't funny. I'm not saying that because I thought it was mean. Just in general, I have a good sense of humor. There was nothing funny about that when he did that. Zero.
Yeah, it doesn't add anything. It's lazy.
I do got to say with Shorty G, Chad Gable getting his haircut, he looks so normal now, like just plain.
Oh my God, yes, definitely.
He needs to grow his hair back out.
He totally should. He looked good like that, and now that he's got his singlet off and he wears, you could see his muscles now, right? They're not covered up anymore. He's shredded.
Yeah.
Shredded.
I think
he looks like a stockbroker. He needs to grow that hair back out.
They can make jokes, but I don't think they have to be overt with it. I think sly, subtle humor, like we get it. We get that he's shorter than other people. We get that Otis is overweight. You know, one of my favorite jokes, I think about Better Off Dead a lot. One of my favorite movies with John Cusack. Everyone talks about I Want My $2. There's that scene when they're at dinner with the French foreign exchange student and Ricky, the next door neighbor, and the mom is like, oh, they've developed a romance, they're dating, and John Cusack just goes, her and him? Yeah, that makes sense. And that's it. Like, that's all you need to do. Just sort of like a little sly, subtle thing. Everyone gets it. Everyone has their laugh. You don't need to sit there and beat it into the ground, you know?
So, you remember Ricky?
Yes. Oh, Ricky, yes. Oh, I wish I could buy that.
He was so great.
So that movie, Raj, have you seen Better Off Dead?
I was just about to say, I don't even want to get started. I haven't seen it.
Oh my God, Raj, seriously, this.
So the paper boy, with his bicycle on skis. Or no, was it just by his
it's skis at the end, the Howard Cosell jokes. Raj, like this, I hate to say it, like, Goonies was a thing of kids of our generation, but Better Off Dead is like, I think part of the 80s sort of experience of growing up. It is John Cusack, perhaps his finest work.
I like John Cusack.
He had a lot of good ones in the 80s, I would say, even. This was one of the better ones, for sure. One Crazy Summer? Yeah, and that was the same director. As sort of a spiritual sequel to Better Off Dead. I loved it.
Really?
Bobcat Goldthwait was super over with me.
I love Bobcat Goldthwait. Police Academy?
Yeah.
Wait, Police Academy is your only reference for Bobcat Goldthwait? Have you seen his stand-up or the movies he's made or anything since?
Police Academy. The first 4, I think.
Dude,
whatever Citizens on Patrol was, all the ones up to that.
Yeah.
He had a great one on HBO with stand-up. He was funny.
I'm in the audience of one of those. If you have HBO Max, the Bobcat special on there, like I'm in the audience for that and Janine Garofalo. Like they taped a bunch of them the same week and we went and saw all of them. You could see me like with glasses in the audience, not sunglasses, regular glasses in the audience. But very interesting, Raj. No Better Off Dead.
How old were you?
I would have been 19 at the time.
You had good taste, Glenn.
Oh, I love stand-up comedy. So when I started going to the city as a teenager, that would be to see stand-up a lot of the time. But yeah, Bobcat's stand-up is hilarious. And I think he even named an album this. He's got a joke where he says a woman came up to him in the airport and said, I don't mean to offend you, but has anyone ever told you that you look like Bobcat Goldthwait? His stand-up is great. He talks about the Police Academy experience and all of that.
Bernie DC saying Saying Anything was one of his best with John Cusack.
The 3 best are The Sure Thing, Say Anything, and Better Off Dead. Probably High Fidelity is the 4th.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Brian Baldwin, saying I don't even watch WWE right now. I just wait for this podcast. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Very much appreciate it.
Yep.
Anyhow, so the 6-man tag happened. The New Day and Shorty G won.
Mojo took the pin.
Yeah,
it's almost like he was getting punished for Rob Gronkowski leaving WWE. Which Wrestling Inc. broke the story this week that Rob Gronkowski exercised. He had an out clause in his contract, so he's gone.
Got the scoop, huh?
We broke it on the podcast. Remember?
That's when it was broken.
Well, that's when I got it from a very good source, and I broke it on the podcast.
Anybody heard this?
Well, I wrote the article right after we were done, but yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That happened on our podcast.
Yeah. So the main event tonight was the women's tag team title match. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross defending against Sasha Banks and Bayley, and we have new tag team champions. Sasha Banks and Bayley have won, and now Bayley's got 2 titles.
Good. I like this move, actually.
Yeah.
I like Sasha, years and years and years of WWE dropping the ball on her, and she never looks like she's given up or like never looks like she's just phoning it in. She still looks like she's giving it her all. And she looked like it tonight, and it was great. I see Sasha as just an untapped superstar there right now.
This has got to be leading to the breakup, right? When they lose the titles, they turn on one another, and then we have Sasha versus Bayley maybe at SummerSlam?
You would think so, but we've been saying this for like 3 years. Remember the counseling sessions and all that stuff that they did? But yes, this should be a step in that story direction. It's like when Diesel and Shawn Michaels won the tag titles. That was a step for them to eventually break up.
It's a really good match, though. This was really good result. I think it was great overall.
Alexa needs to turn on Nikki. I know they're friends in real life, but Alexa is floundering right now.
Yeah. So the show did get better as it went on.
Yeah. I hated the show in the first hour, and then by the last hour, by the end, I was like, that's pretty good. Mostly the Miz and Morrison stuff, and Braun Strowman looking like a goof.
Yeah. What else do we got, Raj?
So we got a lot of news. Tony Khan has revealed that he's had Hulk Hogan banned from AEW events.
We talked
Linda
about
Hogan
Wednesday.
sent out a very ignorant tweet, but it actually went way before that. So yeah, Tony Khan, he's saying since the beginning he's wanted nothing to do with Hogan, doesn't want to work with him. So yeah, that's
Hogan, I'm sure, wants nothing to do with them. I'm sure.
Well, Hogan pretty much. I mean, he's with WWE. He's
right.
He's got the relationship.
Really quick, what did Hulk Hogan tweet that I'm missing here?
Well, it was Linda Hogan. So Linda Hogan tweeted, she tweeted, "Watching the looting. It's all Afro-Americans." If you've been watching the news, so many of the protesters and rioters are white. It's all races. But she wrote, "Watching the looting. It's all Afro-Americans. Not sure how robbing and stealing set the record straight, but if they want to be heard, they need to be civilized." Tony Khan responded to her and said, "You've now joined your husband in being banned from all AEW shows. Congratulations." And in an interview, what he said was, what he said on tape, and he's referring to Hogan's past racist remarks.
Gawker?
Yeah, the Gawker stuff.
Yeah.
What he said on tape, "Long before George Floyd, I've told people I can't work with Hulk Hogan. How can I look my black friends, football players, employees in the face or myself in the mirror after the things Hulk said and has never given an adequate apology for? He can't blame what he said on tape on the dangers of social media." So, yeah, he said he'll never work with Hogan.
Yeah. Hey, good on him for sticking to something he believes in. You got to say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody else generally becomes malleable and melts or wilts, whatever the word is, because he's the Babe Ruth of pro wrestling. And I don't know, without getting into it too much, I just think that's pretty stand up for somebody if you believe in what you believe in and you stick by it.
Yeah. What else do we have, Rush?
Also, MVP, his status in WWE. So now he's actually just a talent. He was one of the producers that was furloughed.
God, really?
Yeah. So for now, he's just a on-screen talent, and then once they start running again and using producers again, that'll change. But yeah, that's his role. Real quick with the NXT versus AEW ratings, it was kind of an interesting ratings week because Raw did their second lowest number ever.
Wow.
But it's just every week it's just a little bit down, but just topping the previous week's second lowest rating. And then SmackDown was actually a little up. AEW was down a lot. They were down 12%.
Really?
And then NXT was only down 2%. So NXT and Dynamite were like very close. It was 730 versus 715. It's kind of interesting. AEW won 730 to 715, and they won 18-49. The main event of NXT, the Drake Maverick match, actually beat the Cody Rhodes match on Dynamite.
I believe it. I believe that.
Matt, your thoughts on the Drake Maverick storyline? Because there has been a lot of mixed emotions on that.
Is it that they're saying, "Oh, what about all the other wrestlers that got released"? Is that what the beef is?
No, it's more like, are you doing a storyline with Drake when all these people are losing their jobs, legit during a pandemic and can't find anything else, or you can't then do the storyline and not bring him on. Otherwise, you seem like just dickheads, right? Because
if they brought him on.
Yeah, they did. But then it just makes it look like they just did the storyline with him when all these guys are legit losing their jobs with families, going through hard times. Because they weren't making, people think with wrestlers make a ton of money, and it's good money, but it's...
Well, versus when I was there, yes, they do. They do make... Hang on. They do make good money.
It was interesting. Leo Rush had that tweet saying it's sort of they're going to start bringing back and offering contracts to everyone else now and giving them storylines. And we've heard reports, I think Justin was saying, Raj, that some talent that was released have been offered lower deals to return to the company already.
That's true.
Well, that's, nobody, listen, no business was immune when COVID hit. And needing to make releases. I've been released. I know what it feels like. It sucks. You know what I mean? But by the same token, if one of the guys or girls that was like the heartbeat of every locker room that they're in, every bus ride they're on, every airplane ride that they're on, that lifts everybody else's spirits, that genuinely loves everybody loves that person. Again, I say Sho Funaki. I wouldn't be pissed if WWE said, you know what? We're going to bring Sho Funaki back if we're just bringing one person back. Sorry, Matt. I'd be like, hey, cool. Funaki's a great man. I'm happy for him.
Yeah. So, anyway, also, Phil bringing up if we're worried about the direction wrestling is headed with the low ratings and extremely low YouTube views the past few months. We'll see. I think we're going to get back to arenas and stuff, and we'll see. Jinder Mahal.
Put my text up there. What?
Jinder Mahal had another knee operation.
Who did? Wait, what? Jinder what?
Jinder Mahal. Hold on. Let me. Here we go. Baby Maharaja. Did you hear Jinder had another knee surgery, so he's off television again? So yeah, he had the ruptured tendon, patella tendon, last year in June. He had the surgery for that. And then he came back in April, worked a handful of matches. He had the one on Raw. They were clearly building him up for a main event push. They had him name-dropping Drew, so they were clearly heading in that direction. It's not clear what happened, but he had surgery, same knee, same leg.
Hang on. Hey, I'm getting some... Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
I have some breaking news here. Hang on. I have some breaking news here, folks. Hang on, it's coming in my buzz. It's in my buzzing in my ear right now. It says to text Blueprint to 22525. In case you didn't hear it earlier. Glenn tried to get at it by hanging up on us.
In the middle of an injury report.
my browser crashed.
No. I'm talking about Matt. I'm giving Matt some shit. But Jinder Mahal, yeah, he's out. It's not known how serious it is, but it sucks.
Is this why they stopped him and Drew?
Yeah. That's why he's been off TV. It's because of the injury.
Dude, guys, this could have been the one. I'm not just saying that as a fair weather fan, this could have been huge for both talents. When you're in the ring with somebody that you're friends with and you've got good chemistry with, it can be an opportunity for like a lights out type of match that people might not have given it credit for. You know what I mean? Going into it. This stinks.
Yeah. Disco Scotty saying text Blueprint to 22525.
Yeah.
The last thing I got here, NXT call-up. So apparently Velveteen Dream and Io Shirai are on the list to get called up. And Adam Cole, his contract, the Wrestling Inc. has learned that his contract is up in August. And he has not re-signed yet. And chances are if he does, they'll have to move him to the main roster because the money it would take to keep him, it doesn't make sense to keep him in NXT. And AEW clearly is going to be interested. But Adam Cole, his contract is coming up, is what we've heard. And he was asked about it in a media interview tonight with CBS Sports. kind of dodged it and just said his focus is on the NXT title. But
Yeah.
that would be a good get for AEW, but on the main roster, his size, Road Dogg made a comparison that if he had Karrion Kross's size, he would be Universal Champion right now, and I agree.
Yeah, he's amazing worker. Good charisma, good promos. I like him. But I think you're right.
Yeah. So we want to talk about TakeOver in Your House predictions. We're going to be back here Sunday to talk about this right after it ends. Who's going to be on the panel Sunday, Raj?
It's going to be the three of us, and then Justin will be on the Backlash panel.
Got it.
Let's run it through it real quick.
Quickly, Tommaso Ciampa versus Karrion Kross. I mean, Kross is winning that, right?
Kross.
Yes.
Yeah. Charlotte Flair in a triple threat against Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai for the NXT Women's title.
I think Charlotte pins Io Shirai. Io Shirai's gone, and it leads to a one-on-one with Charlotte and Rhea.
And Rhea gets it back eventually.
Yeah.
I could see Rhea getting it back this week.
At the SummerSlam TakeOver. I think that's where it's going to happen.
That would be good. Finn Balor versus Damian Priest, Matt?
Priest.
Wow. Okay.
Finn Balor's stock is... He needs to get back on the main roster.
Keith Lee versus Johnny Gargano for the North American Championship.
Keith Lee.
Yeah. And then 6-woman tag match: Mia Yim, Shotzi Blackheart, Tegan Nox versus Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, and Raquel Gonzalez.
The second two,
Candice LeRae gets the win.
Yeah. And then lastly, for the last chance backlot brawl for the NXT Championship, Adam Cole defending against Velveteen Dream.
Because he's up, Raj just got done telling us he's up for his contract.
But Velveteen Dream is supposed to be going to the main roster soon, too.
And even more reason why Cole wins.
I think Cole, and then they'll have him drop it if he doesn't re-sign,
He will re-sign.
I think he will.
He's working with his idol every day. Trust me, he's getting paid great money. It's going to be even better money. I'm just speaking from what I would do. I wouldn't leave NXT. I'm being serious. If I was having that much fun and I got to work with Undertaker every day, no, I'd be good. Keep me right here.
Yeah.
I'm sure he wants to go to the main roster, and I'm sure this would speed that up. Because 3 years and to be in NXT, no offense, me and Justin, we can argue about it all day, but NXT is not the main roster.
It's not Raw and SmackDown, I agree, but it's on USA. Am I wrong?
But it gets a fraction of the viewers that the other shows get. It's not treated. Their pay-per-views aren't treated like, Backlash or WrestleMania or SummerSlam.
But when fans react to them live at the airports and in person, they usually go more goo gaga over the NXT stars, the main stars like Keith Lee, Velveteen Dream. Just said it. Come on, Adam Cole. Than they do for
an Undertaker or or Roman Reigns or
Seth.
Yeah, they'd go way more crazy for Seth than Keith Lee. Matt,
it's the cooler show. It's the cooler show.
It's been dropping in the ratings ever since it started.
You can't. How's Raw doing? How's SmackDown doing?
SmackDown, I mean, it does 3 times what NXT does.
But no, you specifically said NXT's dropping. You gotta say so is SmackDown, so is Raw.
Okay, but before COVID, SmackDown wasn't dropping. They were leveled off at 2.5. NXT was dropping, before the COVID, before the empty arena. The empty arena stuff has caused everything to drop. But SmackDown wasn't. SmackDown had been steady before that. Raw not so much because that third hour kills it. But anyway,
I wouldn't want to be on Raw where you're going to be in some cartoony, corny skit.
If the money were the same,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm saying Adam Cole could have an opportunity to get paid big time money and say, hey, we would like to keep you here. It's up to you. What do you think?
Isn't that happening with Finn?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's not getting paid as
less.
much as he was on the main roster in the sense that he was
house shows.
Right. Well, until the COVID, but before COVID, he wasn't getting paid as much, but he was willing to do that sacrifice
because he doesn't do house shows with NXT.
Right. Well, no, he did house shows with NXT. It's just they don't make what the WWE main roster house shows did. Yeah.
Or the big pay-per-views every month that he missed out on not being on SmackDown or Raw.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens. I think Sunday is going to be telling, right? Depending on who wins that match, we're going to know what moves are being made. Is there anything else to cover, Raj, before we wrap this up here tonight?
We covered a lot. No, that's it.
Cool, guys. Well, he is at BP Matt Morgan, and if you would be so kind and want to donate to his campaign, text Blueprint to 22525.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you all.
He's at Raj Giri _303. I'm at Glenn Rubenstein. We'll catch you back here Sunday night to talk about NXT TakeOver in your house. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, stay sane. We'll see you back.